Assalamu alaikum dear students, how are you all? I hope you are doing well. So now today we discuss the topic of Plato. Plato is a Greek philosopher and famous philosopher and writings and many work in metaphysics, history, justice, reality, axiology, all over them. So many philosophers criticize and many philosophers accept this theory of knowledge. Plato is a Greek philosopher who is always considered one of the most influential Western philosophers of all the time. Along with his student Aristotle, Plato was born into a prominent and wealthy family in Athens. Some commenters have said that his real name was Aristocles and that Plato was a nickname from the Greek word Platonos, meaning broad or flat, because he was a large person. Other commenters have denied this. In metaphysics, Plato argued that there are varied degrees of reality. Express the picture of reality. In epistemology, he argued that reason is superior to experience. In zoology, we just experience through our reason. And in zoology, he argued that the good life comes from knowledge. You have a knowledge, so you live very well. All of these issues are illustrated in his famous three picture in one frame, three categories one frame, and clear the concept of the reality and meaning and knowledge. So his work Allegory of Cave and his doctrinal forms. Socrates is a teacher of Plato and Plato is a teacher of Aristotle. There are three main and basic Greek philosophers. Allegory of the Cave. Plato has the reader imagine a cave in which live their entire lives. He is just an example of the allegory of the cave and myth. You can say that indeed generation of people live there. Many people live in the cave and they cannot see the entrance of the outside of the world, and they cannot believe it that all the cave is there is to the world, because they believe that just cave is to the world. They are chained in such a way they are always face toward a wall in the back of the cave. How they could live, move around, eat, have children, etc. is not important. It is a moral message that matters in it, the allegory. Basically, the Plato clarified the picture of allegory of the cave, the picture of the reality, how we know the truth, how we know the about the world. Many people live in the cave. He just believe in the cave is the world and no more than. So how they live and moving around and their children, etc. Behind the people where they cannot see is a fire that illuminates the cave. Between the fire and the people is a sort of roadway where other people can move along as they do so. The fire behind them casts shadow on the back wall of the cave. The people who are chained and looking at the wall see the shadows that are cast on the wall but do not know about the roadway or people moving along it. बेसिकली अब सिर्फ उसका ये बताना चाह रहे हैं कि लोग कुछ ऐसे हैं कि जिनको बांध दिया गया है चेन के साथ और उनको नहीं पता कि बैकवर्ड में उनके क्या है, ठीक है। और भाई एक आग जला दी गई उनके पीछे, अब उनको सिर्फ जो पिक्चर दिखाई दे रही है एज अ शेडो का फॉर्म है, वो उसको हकीकत समझते हैं। अब जो भी चीज़ आपको शेडो फॉर्म में दिखाई देगी अब उसको हकीकत मान लेंगे। वो सिर्फ इस हद तक उसको हकीकत को चाहती है क्योंकि वो बंधे हुए हैं चेन में, उनको नहीं पता उनको आगे कहाँ निकलना है, कहाँ मूव आउट करना है, नहीं जाना, और एक रास्ता बना दिया गया है लेकिन वो चीज़ से नहीं वाकिफ़ क्योंकि वो एक चेन बने हुए हैं, बहुत अरसे से वो इस चेन में रहे हैं। तो वो जैसे हेरिटेज है या अब अजदाद का जो एक सिलसिला है उनका चलता आया है, तो उनको एक्सपीरियंस सिर्फ उसी लेवल का है कि जो उनको दिखा दिया कि जो रोशनी में जो पिक्चर उनको नज़र आ गई बस इससे ज़्यादा वो कुछ नहीं जानते। ऑल ऑफ देयर एक्सपीरियंस आर ऑलवेज एंड ऑनली द शेडो दैट अपीयर्स ऑन द वॉल इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम. This picture clearly the concept of the allegory of the cave, the fire and the roadway. They don't know ever else. So exit to the daylight, and the prisoner just know the truth of the through fire, through the sunlight. What is the shadow of the picture of reality? Imagine Plato said that one day one of these chained people manages to get free and he gets up and starts to move around. When he looks behind him, he sees that roadway and the fire. He comes to realize that all of his experiences prior to the movement were only the shadow on the wall, not of real things. One day, Plato argued that he claimed that many people get free from this chain and they know all the experience to outside of the world and see the roadway and the fire, what is the behind and the history of the reality and a picture of the truth. He realized that the shadow is just a picture, not a real things. He just a picture and shadow. Through shadow, he just realized and experiences through reason. He then proceeds to see the things that cause the shadow, that is, the things moving along the roadway, and understand that the shadows are like those things, but only shadows of them. As he proceeds even further up the cave, he finally starts to see the diffused light from the entrance of the cave, light that is caused by the sunlight outside. You suppose that sunlight entering the cave and you just show the picture, any picture and the shadow on the wall. If shadow is off and sunlight is diffused, so how you know the picture of the object and physical object reality? No, you don't know without light. Eventually, he comes to the actual entrance of the cave and looks outside. If any one person gets the free and look outside the cave, he sees real things like trees and natural things, sunlight, stars, moon, water, mountain, many other things, etc. At first, the direct sunlight is too bright for him and hurts his eyes because he sees first time. Slowly, however, he gets used to the sunlight and sees the outside world. अब हमें जब एक चीज़ की आदत हो चुकी होती है तो हम उससे बाहर निकलना हमारे लिए मुश्किल हो जाता है। अगर कोई इस चीज़ से आज़ाद होता है, और भी एग्जाम्पल्स हम ले सकते हैं। अगर हमें किसी चीज़ की आदत होती है, हमें जिस एनवायरनमेंट की आदत होती है हम उसी में रहते हैं। अगर हम एक एनवायरनमेंट अपना एक नेचर की हैबिट चेंज करने की कोशिश करते हैं, एनवायरनमेंट चेंज करते हैं, तो हमारे लिए वो अडॉप्ट करना मुश्किल हो जाता है। इसी तरह प्लाटो ने एलिगरी इन द केव में ये एग्जांपल बताना चाहिए कि हमें जब हम एक चीज़ से बाहर निकलते हैं, जब हम बाहर की दुनिया देखने लगते हैं, तो हमें वो चीज़ें चुभती हैं, हम उसको अडॉप्ट नहीं कर पा रहे होते, हम उसमें से फिट नहीं हो पाते, तो हमें आहिस्ता आहिस्ता उसको अडॉप्ट करना पड़ता है, समझना पड़ता है, देखना पड़ता है। Imagine further, Plato said that having made the discovery, the man is excited and wants to go back to tell all the people who are still chained inside the cave. Because his eyes now have become accustomed to natural sunlight, water, etc. When he goes back into the cave, it is dark and he has trouble seeing in the darkness. Trouble he had never had before when he lived his life in the cave. Just like you that एक इंसान बाहर गया है, वो देख कर रहा है बाहर की दुनिया, रोशनी, नेचुरल चीज़ें, वो जब दोबारा से अपने कार में वापस आता है तो वो बताना चाहता है, लेकिन वो उस अंधेरे में उसको बहुत मुश्किल होती है और वो उसमें संभल नहीं पा रहा होता, सेट नहीं हो पा रहा होता। ऐसे बहुत सारे ऐसे हालात होते हैं जिन चीज़ों से बाहर निकल कर आते हैं, वापस हम जब उस चीज़ में जाते हैं तो वो हमारे लिए समझाना और बताना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है, उस चीज़ को दोबारा से अडॉप्ट करना। इवेंचुअली विद सम डिफ़िकल्टी ही गोज़ बैक टू वेयर द अदर्स आर एंड टेल देम व्हाट ही हैड डिस्कवर्ड एंड देन the allegory also eliminates some basic aspects of Plato's view. On one hand, Plato thought that there were different levels of reality. Some of things and kind of things are more real than others. Shadows are real, they're imaginary, they are not imaginary, but they are less real than the things that cause them. For example, there might be a shadow of a tree that is caused by sunlight behind a tree. If a cloud suddenly blocks the sunlight, the shadow of the tree will disappear, but the tree itself does not disappear. Because the shadow is disappear, but the tree is not, because tree is exists in itself. The shadow of the tree ceases to exist, but the physical tree continue to exist. For Plato, this is to say that the shadow is real, but the physical tree is even more real. You can say the physical property is more realistic, and the shadow is always real, but shadow is lessly. There is a level of reality beyond that of physical everyday things. We can have the concept of tree even if there is no physical tree. Just a picture of a tree in your mind not exist in front of you, so you can say that yes, tree is exists, a tree is itself. Tree is a picture of a reality, and this is real picture, and a shadow, you can say that a shadow is a real, a shadow is imaginary. So just a name is shadow, and shadow is a picture, not imaginary, is a reality. Express the picture of reality. Or we can have the concept of circle, and that is the second example. If there is no actual perfect circle in the world, or the concept of negative numbers, even if there do not exist any actual negative numbers, is that possible? You see the negative numbers in the world and digital numbers. The concept then can exist even there are no actual instances of that concept that exist. These concepts Plato called ideas or forms, and they are the highest level of reality. There are level of reality. First of all, first picture of reality is a shadow, and the second reality is a physical three, and the third and the highest level of reality is a form, ideas. And just idea formed through soul, just equal to soul. So if you have an idea of about or a picture of form about any objective, so this is the highest level of reality, because there is this in itself. Beside level of reality, there are levels of awareness or thinking for the Plato. According to Plato, on the one level, there are just imagine or illusion, like the shadow images of things on the wall. These are one level of awareness. You just see the shadow, but they are like mere sensation. Beyond images, they are beliefs, thoughts with content. If you cannot say, yeah, cannot see the picture, yeah, beyond picture, they are belief, your belief and thought with content. This is tree and this is flower, this is wall and this is water. Just these are pictures of reality. Beyond images, they are belief, thought with content. Of course, belief can be false. You can say that is we can have beliefs that turn out simply to be wrong. Possibly, if you believe on one thing, possibly that turn out to wrong. For example, we might believe that Abraham Lincoln lived in the 1700th century, or that apes have tails like monkeys. Beliefs are greater than images or sensations, but they are less than knowledge. आप इसमें ये भी एग्जाम्पल्स ले सकते हैं कि अगर आपको किसी चीज़ का बहुत ज़्यादा बिलीव है, आपको पता है कि ये इसके करने से ऐसा होता है, या ये जगह इस टाइम पे ऐसी थी, लेकिन टाइम टाइम के साथ वो आपका सिर्फ मानना है, लेकिन आपने हकीकत में उसको देखा नहीं, जस्टिफाई नहीं किया, सिर्फ आपका बिलीव है। बिलीव आपका जस्टिफाई तब होगा जब आप उसको अपनी आंखों से देखेंगे, या वो गलत भी तो हो सकता है। आपका जो बिलीफ है वो रिचुअल बिलीफ भी हो सकते हैं, उसमें बहुत सारे पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिकल, सोसाइटिकल